Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colton Lopez, and today I'll be presenting research done by Mr. Greg Hollin in an article in which he defends Aaron Hernandez in the way that the media portrayed him and dealing with his case of CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So a little bit about CTE. CTE is a neurodegenerative brain disease which is caused by repeated blows to the head. Aaron Hernandez was a professional football player in the NFL. He played college football at the University of Florida before being drafted by the New England Patriots, where he ended up winning a Super Bowl. Here you see a picture of Mr. Hernandez with great New England Patriot quarterback Tom Brady. More about the disease. So CTE, like I said, is a neurodegenerative brain disease, and it is caused by the proteins in the brain being phosphorylated and starting to attack blood vessels in the brain, which makes the fibers of the brain decay. Here is a picture of the brain of a normal 27-year-old, and as you can see, the fibers in the brain, the proteins are very healthy. The brain is very, as you can see, it's closed together, it's structured well. There aren't many openings. This is on a black background. You can't see much black through the brain, only in the surrounding areas. Here is the brain of Mr. Aaron Hernandez at the time of his death. He was only 27 years old. As you can see, there's much more decay in the cerebral cortex of Aaron Hernandez's brain. There are openings here in the center, and this decay was caused by these fibers, these phosphorylated proteins beginning to decay the brain, and eventually will change the emotions, the decision making, and the cognitive skills of the person who has the disease. Aaron Hernandez, his brain was in stage 2, moving into stage 3 of chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Down here in another structure is the brain of an older person who was found to have stage 4 of this disease. And the reason that older people have are found in the later stages of this disease is because it can only be diagnosed in post-mortem examinations, which means you can't diagnose this disease in a living person. So younger people who have their brain studied and who are found to have CTE obviously have not lived long enough to move into the later stages of this disease, while an older person can. And you can see the severity that this disease has on the decay of the brain. Much more openings. It rots the brain. Mr. Greg's his statement, the main point of the article, is that the media wrongfully portrayed Aaron Hernandez as a cold-blooded killer who made these decisions out of his upbringing, the wrongdoings of his parents and the way he was raised, which turned out to not be the case. He was considered a loving, caring father, husband, brother, son. As you can see in the picture here with Tom Brady, you can tell that they have a special bond. And Aaron Hernandez was liked by many of his teammates because of his characteristics and the way he carried himself and his personality. In the later stages of his life, obviously, he ended up making bad decisions and ended up taking his own life. These bad decisions that he made, Aaron Hernandez was charged with 3 murders during his playing career as a professional football player. He was only convicted of 1 charge, was acquitted of the other 2, and ended up committing suicide while in prison, serving time for the murder that he was convicted of. They did research on his brain, as you can see here in this picture, found that he had chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and Mr. Greg Hollin decided that he wanted to do more research on this disease specifically rather than Aaron Hernandez in his case, and he found that the changes that this disease will cause on a person were significant enough for him to decide that this disease essentially turned Mr. Hernandez into a different person and made him think irrationally and in ways in which he would not have thought if he were not to have this disease. And this disease was caused by Mr. Hernandez playing football his whole life, and was not caused by 1 or 2 big hits to his head, but more the accumulation of playing many games over the years, and ended up causing these proteins to be phosphorylated and to attack these blood vessels and end up rotting Mr. Hernandez's brain. He was in stage 3, like I said, of this disease. In stage 3, aggression, memory loss, and lack of spatial awareness are seen. And this stage 2 to 3 is when other people are becoming aware that something is going on here within the person. And obviously, like I said, this disease cannot be diagnosed in a living person, but because of the changes to their characteristics, their personality, the way they carry themselves, and the way they think and make decisions, other people would be able to tell at this point that something wasn't quite right with Aaron Hernandez emotionally or cognitively. Mr. Hernandez is not the only professional athlete who has been found to have this disease, and he is not the only professional athlete who has taken his own life and others' lives with this disease. Former professional football player Junior Seau, he actually played on the New England Patriots as well. He, at the age of 43, was in the team facility. He played 20 years in the NFL, and when he was with the San Diego Padres at the age of 43, he was in the team facility parking lot and ended up taking his own life, and was aware enough of his well-being. He shot himself in the heart so that his brain could be studied, and he was found to also be in stage 3 of chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Also, former professional wrestler Chris Benoit ended up killing his young son and his wife before taking his own life, and he also was in stage 2, moving into stage 3 of CTE, much like Aaron Hernandez. To summarize Mr. Greg Hollin's findings and his claims is that this disease will change a person enough to make them act and think out of their typical nature. And he doesn't defend the acts that Aaron Hernandez has done, but he does defend the way that the media portrayed Aaron Hernandez, and defends Aaron Hernandez's upbringing and his family by saying that this disease was caused by repeated blows to the head because of him playing football, not because of the way that he was raised or because of any other physical or emotional abuse caused by his family. Do y'all have any questions? All right. Thank you.